Hi everyone, this is Y. Rodriguez. Thought it would be nice in celebration of a belated Happy Valentine's Day to read from my short story Laura and the Kickboxer, which is from my short story collection called Urban Folktales, which you can pre-order at any bookstore or on Amazon or my publisher's website, readfuriouslypress.com, and which will officially be released on April 4th of this year. The story takes place in the 1990s, back in the day when we had beepers and public payphones. Laura is a Puerto Rican woman in her late 20s who is stuck in a dead-end job and longs to become a singer. And David El Caballo Calderon is a former kickboxing champion who longs to make a comeback and regain custody of his kids. They meet on the N train as they're making their way back to Manhattan from Queens and immediately fall in like with each other. Laura is trying to disentangle herself from a relationship with a married man, and David, who thankfully was able to kick crack cocaine, earns his living as the muscle for a big-time numbers runner in the South Bronx. They decide to get a bite to eat, and David invites Laura to his practice sparring match the next day and gives Laura his beeper number so that she can let him know when she's on her way by beeping her date of birth, which is June 15th, 615, on his beeper so that he'll know that she's on her way. So not only do they find each other very attractive, but they also contemplate the possibility of having a happy life together. So here's their story, or a little bit of their story. She never came. After sparring with Joey the Bull Sanchez, one of the regulars at the gym and a retired kickboxer, David ran into the locker room to check his beeper. Not one call from her. Not one 615 was registered on its tiny rectangular screen. David wondered why he even bothered to give her his number, why he had even bothered to think that someone like her, so sweet and pretty and smart, would go for a bum like him. All those punches to the cranium must have knocked his senses loose. Yo, man, that was a great fight. Joey patted his back as he opened his battered locker. Yeah, I can see it, David. I can feel the comeback in those punches tonight. What happened to you? You on roids or something? David knew that a lot of fighters, the lazier ones especially, who didn't want to bother with the extra push-ups and chin-ups and sit-ups and sparring matches and whatever it took to get stronger and faster and better, chose the drugs instead. David knew better after kicking crack that such things were better off left alone, as they would either make you fucking lose your mind or kill you. Neither was an option he cared to consider. Nah, man, it ain't that. Just some girl that I met yesterday. I invited her, to watch, but I guess she changed her mind. Joey twisted and turned his body to wrap a white towel that read St. Michael's Gym around his expanding, fleshy belly. Don't let it bother you, man. Maybe she got caught in traffic or had some kind of emergency or some shit like that. You know how girls are. David wondered what girls were, even after all these years. Or maybe he never really knew what a girl really was until he met Laura. Yeah, that's true. I met her on the subway and she was coming back from small claims court. Yeah, I never thought of that. Maybe she had an emergency. Thanks, Joey. Joey removed his towel and jumped into the torrent of warm water. Yeah, maybe she'll call you later, man. Gotta have that faith, man, if you're gonna be champ again. David began to remove his clothes, cheered by his friend's words, uplifted once again, as he felt yesterday when he left her, as he allowed the shower's water to fill him with a restored hope. Laura knew that she had hurt David as soon as she agreed to see Tony again that night, and it pained her almost as if someone had inserted a sharp pin under her skin, a pinching hurt, raw and long-lasting. She agreed to meet Tony where they would usually meet, at the cafe in Washington Heights, far enough away from his downtown neighbors and his wife. As she sat in their usual booth, she noticed a payphone, thinking of David as she fingered the loose change in her leather jacket. Tony was late again, as always. Laura began to feel her life slipping away with each passing minute, wasting her time for a man in a diner who was unavailable. And as she waited, probably like how David was now waiting for her, as she continued to fiddle with the 3 quarters that she always carried around just in case of an emergency. She rose and sighed as she headed for the payphone to call David. No more waiting around for nobody. And in that same moment, Tony entered the diner, looking flushed and bursting with readied apologies. I'm sorry, Negrita. Please forgive me. He reached for her as he would always reach for her and kissed her deeply, leaving her feeling lightheaded and confused. Tony, please. She gently pushed him away, still tasting his bitterness, a hint of black coffee and familiar excuses. What? So what? I'm a little late, so kill me. You're not a little late. You're always late. Laura reached for the quarters again, loosening her grip as she let them fall inside her pocket. Come on, let's get something to eat. I'm starving. In the booth, he grabbed her arm and looped his arm into hers, a reversed bridal march grip. Come on, hon. We're going to need our energy for later. He stuck his tongue into her ear. Laura pulled away, feeling stained, knowing where the night would lead if she allowed it. Is that all there is for us, Tony? A quick fuck and back to the wife and kids? Tony pulled her away as he, on reflex, searched the menu. Shh! You want the world to know our business? You know I love you, baby. You know that we talked about this before. I can't do anything until what, Tony? Until what? There is no until, because until is something that you promised your wife. Until death do us part, remember? Laura searched for the coins again. David. Listen, I gotta go. I promised this friend. Tony embraced her again, gently and firmly in his strong arms, and kissed her. I thought I was your friend, Laura. Please, let's not fight. You know how things are. You know that you gotta give me time to work things out so that nobody gets hurt. You understand? Please trust me. He kissed her again, and this time she returned it. That's it, my baby. Come on, let's get out of here and go back to your place. I've been waiting to get between those beautiful legs of yours all day. And you know what I'm going to do, right? He nuzzled in her hair and kissed her neck with the tip of his tongue, exciting her as she surrendered to him once again. Come on, honey, you know I love you, and I know you love me. He was right about that. She did love him, but was it really love? Okay, Tony, let's go. They made their way out of the diner and walked back to her studio apartment downtown, where they would unfold the sofa bed and make love into the night until it was time for him to leave, as he would always leave, leaving her alone, again promising to one day make it right between them. Laura stood alone, dressed in her bathrobe, as she collected her clothes from the floor and noticed that the 3 quarters had fallen from her pocket. Lost coins, lost chances. She thought about David as she wept. In that moment, she promised herself that things would finally change. Mickey the Mouth Maldonado sat in his torn fake leather office chair, shifting himself back and forth in the seat as he spoke. Where can a man get a good cup of coffee around here? Petey the Pauper Barrios, his longtime aide, a diminutive, sweet-natured man, shambled into the office at the request. What can I get you, boss? Mickey chomped on his unlit cigar as he searched the mess of newspapers that littered his desk. I need a light. My cigar's out. And where's that guy, David? Where the hell is he? I need him for another job. Beep him. Call him. Tell his broke-ass, pathetic self to get over here right now. Where are my fucking matches? Here you go, boss. Thanks, Pete. Now where's my coffee? And don't forget that bum. He's too much of a chicken shit to even get my money back from me. What's a man got to do around here to make an honest living? Damn! I give yous guys all the breaks, and all I ever get is a fucking headache. I'm too much of a pushover. Petey stared at his boss. noticing how large he had grown in the middle, looking like a Puerto Rican Pillsbury doughboy with a deep dark tan and graying hair and a mustache that he would dye black from time to time. Petey wanted to laugh, but he didn't. Go get me some coffee, Petey, and call that bum. I got a lot of shit to take care of today. Mickey handed him some cash. And don't forget to get yourself something too, Pete. Petey liked Mickey, even if he treated him like crap every now and then. Overall, Mickey was a nice guy deep down, for a numbers runner, that is. Sure thing, boss. Petey opened the door just as David entered, wearing the New York Yankees cap that Petey got him for Christmas last year. Well, 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 looky here, Petey, if it ain't El Caballo himself. Hey, Dave, when you gonna make a comeback, champ? Mickey laughed at Petey's request, loudly, gagging, nearly choking himself with a stubby piece of tobacco. Comeback? Comeback? Are you fucking kidding me, Petey? This guy who can't even muscle a guy for a few bucks, you think he's gonna make a comeback? The day that hell freezes over is when this little nobody will make a comeback, and that's never. Now get my coffee. I gotta talk to David. Petey nodded sadly to David as he turned to leave. Good luck anyway, champ. David was appreciative of Petey's support, even if Mickey was right. But Mickey wasn't right, and David will one day prove him wrong. He didn't want Laura to know what he did for a living, and he was going to end it all with Mickey today. Make a fresh start with her. What's up, Mickey? Mickey looked at one of the newspapers as he chewed, never once looking up to address David. Look at this, Dave. It says here that some dumb-ass lucky guy in Brooklyn just hit the Powerball. $10 million. Ain't that something? David shifted nervously in his seat as he began to feel his beeper vibrate in his pocket. Was it her? Finally? And you know what? He's going to get every bit of that money that he won because the state runs the lottery. So it's all fine and legal, even if it's still gambling. But me? I'm the little guy. I'm the guy they want to squash like a fucking roach. The one who makes his pennies helping out people, our people in the slums, find their American dreams with a lucky winning number. But some of those customers, they get a little carried away sometimes and they spend too much money on a bet when they don't really have the money to spend, so they come to me. And me, I'm such a softie, I take pity on them, our people, and loan them the cash that they need to place the bet, but they're ingrates, Dave. They forget how I helped them in the pinch. So you know how much it hurts me to have to use a little muscle just to get back my money? You follow me? David reached into his pocket and looked at the tiny screen. 6:15, Laura. David, pay attention. David placed the beeper back inside his pocket. His body tingled excitedly, an internal fire set by the simple message. She did care. Listen, I'm going to give it to you straight, Dave. You're fired. David could barely hear Mickey's words as his heart nearly jumped right out of his chest from excitement. Maybe there is hope. Maybe he can make a comeback. Maybe he will be happy. Are you listening to me? Listen, Mickey, you're right to fire me. I want to thank you for helping me with everything, but this life, well, it ain't for me. I'm a fighter, and I gotta fight. I ain't no punk, and I ain't no thug hustling poor slobs for you. This is all I got. David held out his hands, still bruised from the sparring with Joey. This is what made me a champion once, and it's going to make me a champion again, Mickey. Listen, I gotta go. I got some training to do. Mickey jumped from his seat as his cigar fired out of his mouth like a tiny submarine missile. Get out of my office, you ungrateful bum. All the shit I've done for you, keeping you off the streets away from those crack whore friends of yours, and this is how you repay me? You lousy bum. But you fired me. Yeah, but you're not supposed to agree with me. David placed his hand in his pocket to touch the beeper, nearly seeing her face before his eyes. I gotta go, Mickey. No hard feelings. Thanks for everything, man, but I ain't no bum. I can't hustle guys for you no more, Mickey. Try one of those Cordero brothers from the Bronx, the ones who do extreme fighting. It just ain't my style. David remembered that there was a phone just down the block on the corner, one of the few working public phones in that part of the Bronx. I gotta go, Mickey. David ran past Petey, who was just entering with the coffee. "Hey, champ, where you going?" "I gotta go, Petey. Don't let Mickey push you around." Mickey retrieved a cigar and chomped down on it hard. David was right about those two nasty brothers in the Bronx. They'd fucking killed their own mother for a buck. He vowed to call them later. "That poor slop caballo, Petey. He got some loco fantasy about a comeback. What a fucking joke. He's fucking wasting his time, right, Pete?" "Whatever you say, boss. But I think he's gonna be champ again one day. Who knows?" Like a rat, Mickey sniffed at the small brown paper bag that held the cup of coffee. "Petey, you forgot the fucking cream." Thank you, everyone, for listening. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Bye.